Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Um, our spark session today is going to be about projectiles. This is, oh, is it working? Okay,
Yep.
yeah. So it's going to be about projectiles, and this was inspired by this comment over here that I saw a couple of weeks ago, how bullets don't touch barrels because they will die and be destroyed and ruined. This comment prompted me, well, tried to correct him, but then he forced me to do a spark session instead. Basically, what happens when you have a bullet, and initially, ages ago, when they had the muskets and things, flintlock pistols and all those, they had the barrels of the gun would be smooth, and then because they'd load it from the barrel with the ammunition, and then from there, basically they'd have the ammunition ball or whatever it was, gunpowder, and they put it into the barrel and then smash it down with the ramrod, I think it's called, and then they shoot that. And with that setup, they couldn't have the bullet the same size as the barrel, so it had to be a bit smaller than the barrel. So that it's actually just easily going, because if they had it at the same size as the barrel, then it'd be hard to shoot. And so they had to have it smaller. But the real problem with that was when the gun was shot, that bullet would bounce around in the barrel a bit. That would make it much less accurate and a bit slower as well, so much lower range. Eventually, in like 1800s, later Civil War, they and also like in England and other places, they started using rifled weapons, which is where they'd have grooves cut into the barrel that would spin around the barrel, as you can see over here. It's like sort of like it's like that like a bit built like a DNA spiral, and the bullet when it's shot into there, they still because they were still using the musket balls and all that. They don't have the conical bullets that they have nowadays, and so those balls it'd be shot in and it'd be put in, and then when they shoot it out, that rifling would give it a little bit of spin, so it had better accuracy, less likely to um well, yeah, so the ball would be closer to the size of the barrel, and so it'd be less bouncing around, so it'd be more accurate as well. And then eventually, as time went on, they got better and better at it, and they came up with this other type of bullet, which is the bullet they used to today. And with that bullet, it's got like this on the 1 second over here. They'll have this like a little band on the bullet, and in the middle of the bullet, there's gonna have like a little plug or something. So the bullet itself is actually a little bit smaller than the barrel of the gun. And so when it goes into the gun, when it's shot, the cartridge it shoots the bullet, and there's a little plug in the bullet, and that gets shoved into the bullet, making it expand a little bit. And so as it goes into the barrel of the gun, the the band that's going to be over here, it engages with the rifling, and that gives the bullet much greater spin, causing it to be far more accurate. Also, other things before bullets even, they had this with arrows, for example, they had the feathers on the arrows, and so you have your arrow, you're shooting your arrows. If you've ever tried, throwing a stick, it's not very accurate. Like with spears, it's not particularly accurate as soon as you get beyond a very short range. And so they solved that problem with feathers on the arrows. It made it more streamlined, and it give the arrow a bit of spin as well, and so it'd be much more aerodynamic, less likely to tumble. And because one thing with sticks, if you've ever tried throwing a stick, like a childish version of a spear, is when you're throwing it, it just tumbles over and over and over. And so you throw a stick at someone, it's just going to hit them, but it's not going to stab through them. With arrows, that weighting on the back, that extra weighting from the feathers on the back, it provided it more stable, so it goes straight through. Also, I've seen most of you've used Nerf guns.
I have.
Definitely.
I'm sure those are. And you was did someone?
You
No.
broke up a
Was
little. We thought you were asking a question,
Oh,
but you just went
right.
quiet.
No, I wasn't asking a question. Yeah, I think my internet's a bit dodgy. Where was I? I was at the
You just asked about Nerf guns.
Nerf guns. Yeah. So Nerf guns are they're a bit like a smooth bore gun. That's why if you ever watched a Nerf gun being fired, oh, probably most of you haven't. But if you shoot a Nerf gun over, let's say, longer distances, longer than the size of a room, then your bullets are just going to be wildly inaccurate.